I've been following this event online for a couple of years, and it's really great to be here finally in person. My name is Ivona, and I'm actually responsible for building conversation design practice for our Conversational AI Lab at Raiffeisen Bank International. So I'm setting the principles and guidelines for our AI assistants. I also work across our different markets with teams to actually make sure that everything what we design actually follows the industry standards. So it's work I genuinely love, and today I'll share how we are scaling the practice across all our markets. Before we jump into it, I'd like you to think about this. How many people in your organization touch a single AI assistant? So take a moment, think about your team, think about all the people who design, manage, and build your AI assistant. And then on top, think about a bit wider. Who are all those people who are actually helping you build a use case, or maybe helping you with the testing, or maybe all those people from design departments that are actually helping you to create those use cases and come up with nice interfaces. If you think about it, the number is probably bigger than what you would expect. At Raiffeisen, we've been building conversational AI since 2018, and actually a year later we built Maya. Maya is our internal in-house developed conversational AI platform. And actually today we have around 40 people in our conversational AI lab who are working mainly on this platform and the delivery of our AI assistants. But on top of that, we have 9 different markets with around 30 people on the ground actually working on all these customer-facing AI assistants. So if we add it up, we have more than 70 people using one shared platform, 9 different markets, and 11 official languages. And that actually raises a very big question. How do you keep quality consistent when your team is this spread out? Well, to be completely honest with you, we did not. We scaled without structure, so we did not have a shared design language. Every of our team in different 9 markets invented their own tone of voice, their own conversation patterns. Every team also reinvented the wheel, meaning that the same use cases were built from scratch every time. Meaning that, for example, a team in Austria would be designing a use case that, for example, Romania had already done maybe 6 months ago. So it happened market by market, and no one actually owned the quality, meaning that some pretty bad conversations were unfortunately going live. But that's not it. So on top of having different markets, 9 of them, we also have different departments on top of it, meaning that, for example, product teams are involved in shaping our use cases. For example, loan product departments, card product departments. Then we also have CX and UX research bringing different customer insights to these teams. Then also we have specific business teams who are deciding on the strategy of all these AI assistants. Then, for example, in some markets, we have marketing weighing in on how the AI assistant should actually sound like. And add to that legal, compliance, and all of that. So what actually we did to fix this is that we built a practice. We built it one layer at a time. So first we started with training and enablement, meaning that to actually align all these teams and markets, we needed a common design language across all of them. We also needed a clear ownership because, of course, it really matters who is actually owning this AI assistant, who is actually responsible for deciding on which use case is going live. So we really need to keep the quality going by having a clear governance model. And then we also created a couple of shared playbooks and frameworks, meaning that we provided all these teams real tools to work from, so that we kind of embed the conversation design thinking across all of our organization. As I said, we started by bringing in the knowledge. So what we did is that we started with hands-on trainings. Why is that? It's because we had around 30 people in our markets, so some of them were pretty much familiar with conversational AI, but some of them were pretty new to the organization. So there wasn't a common understanding of the importance of conversation design. So we started with hands-on trainings by providing them some basics. And then on top of that, we also built our Maya Hub. Maya Hub is like a knowledge platform where we are actually bringing to all these people our knowledge, meaning the design patterns, the guidelines, the guides on how to actually decide and come up with a nice conversational journeys. Then on top, we also built a community of practice. So imagine it like a live forum where all these markets that we have connect and share what they're working on, what's not working in their markets. Then we also share some new features from our platform, of course. We are actually making all these markets connect and communicate between themselves, because that's something that wasn't the situation before. And then on top of it all, actually a loop that keeps us stay as a lab connected to all of our markets are design check-ins, meaning that with each of these markets, we are actually doing concrete design check-ins where we are redesigning the journeys that they are having based on, of course, real-time data from the markets. We see what are some errors, what should be fixed, and so on. And that actually helps the teams know what is good, what is not good, and helps them be in this conversation design mindset at all times. What we did through the Maya Hub and all this community of practice is the same tools to work from, meaning that we created reusable design patterns, including UI components that they could reuse and conversational journeys for the most common banking moments. On top, since we have the opportunity as a bank to have a single AI persona, we defined tone and voice rules for all our customer-facing AI assistants, including, of course, how our AI assistant should sound, with examples of what are the right things, what are the wrong things, and so on. And we also created decision frameworks, meaning that we created, of course, guardrails to keep our conversations safe, and some decision maps. For example, how to handle ambiguity, when to escalate to a human, or for example, how to decide between reactive and proactive journeys, or for example, when to go deterministic versus generative, and so on. Of course, quality at scale required clear ownership, so we defined it in 3 different layers. On top, we have our Conversational AI Lab, who is owning the whole platform architecture and security, the governance, and of course, the design principles decision frameworks, and our quality standards for conversation design. Then we have the layer with our product and design teams who are owning the UI design system, use case identification and prioritization to actually ensure that we have cross-market consistency. And at the bottom we have market teams, meaning that they are of course responsible for the AI systems in their own countries, which includes of course the localization, cultural adaptation of the journeys, compliance, and some maybe market-specific journeys. What we also did is that we shifted from personas to mindsets. I'm sure that you're familiar with personas, and we actually did this before. So we started with demographics, with the age, with the product tier, with the account balance. But we actually realized that this is not how we should think about our customers, that we should rather think about what are some specific moments, how people are acting in those specific moments. For example, 55-year-old business owner might be in the same mindset as a 26-year-old student when paying a bill before deadline. So this is why we created these 3 AI experience mindsets. The first one is a so-called get it done. This happens mostly in situations where customers need to make updates quickly, access some information, or maybe complete routine tasks. So what they really value in all situations are speed and efficiency. Then comes the what are my options mindset, which happens in the situations when customers really need some recommendations and advice. So they really want to feel empowered before they make any kind of a decision. And the last one is how does it work mindset. So these kind of customers really want to understand everything about their finances, and they really seek step-by-step guidance and reassurance. So they really value those things instead of the speed as in get it done, for example. So speaking of the moments where AI experience happens, most teams ask what AI can do. But actually we ask what does the customer actually need and where could AI serve that moment. So to do that and to actually think about all those moments where AI could fit in, we built a system to bring innovation into our organization. So together with our dear service design colleagues, we co-created some tools that will help us to bring this. We started with customer journey mapping. We also use a method of trigger cards, which help us actually spark what-if thinking. For example, what if AI could spot some behavior patterns before customer even asks something? So these trigger cards are actually grounded in real user needs, and it helps us to bring up some new ideas for the AI usage. And then also we have a couple of more tools as idea napkins. Basically, it's a one-pager that specifically captures problem, user benefit, and some AI interaction potential. And of course, we have the use case map where everything as an idea becomes a bit more tangible. So we are describing what the AI should communicate. So what this practice I just spoke about actually made possible. So before, teams waited for multiple product owners, legal and compliance to review all the journeys and all the small changes. But now actually teams self-review all those journeys using shared criteria, and our AI lab is then focused on the quality and reusable conversational patterns and components within our platform. Then also, as I said, every market built the same use case from scratch separately, but now we are able to ship a pattern which is built in one market to 9 of them. And with our innovation tools, we are actually leaving the room with ideas who are well-defined and tangible to be worked on. So what I would like to finish with is that conversation design at scale is not actually a design problem, it's an organizational design problem. And everything that we build, so AI, UI, all the use cases, that's all important. And we are always thinking about the technology itself, and of course that's important as well, but actually what brings the technology in reality are the people. And we managed with this practice to actually share the knowledge across our organization and fix all troubles that we had before. So if you're having the same issues in your organization, I invite you to explore first maybe the layers that are broken. For example, maybe in your organization there are some skills missing right now, or maybe there's just some miscommunication between departments. So I invite you to start thinking in this way, to fix first the layers that are not working, and then build actually your own practice. So thank you very much for your attention, and if you will be interested in more details about our frameworks or tools, I'll be happy to connect with you and share some knowledge and thoughts.